So a good leader is the ability for you to do a reflection.
Yes.
And constantly learn, relearn and unlearn. When we go through the challenges, we go together as a team. A leader is about building a team. If you're able to get a team to support you as reliable followers, you will have loyalty all along.
Hello Malaysia, hello world. Apa khabar? Apa khabar?
Do you know SEGi is the most ranked private institution?
Welcome to ECM Talk with another exciting topic for today's program. Are you a true leader or just a boss? I'm Rajesh Shahrul, your host. When you think of a leader at your place of work, you might think of your boss. You know, the supervisor in the tasteful office up on the executive floor. However, bosses are not the only leaders in the office, and not every boss has mastered the art of excellent leadership. Maybe the best leader you know would be the co-worker at the desk next to yours, who is always willing to loan out his or her stapler and help your problem solve. Puzzled about what it takes to be a great leader? Let's hear more from the man himself, who needs no introduction to the corporate scene in Malaysia and the region. Yang berbahagia Dato Seri Azahari Kamil. Selamat datang to ECM Talk, Dato Seri.
Thank you.
Apa khabar, sir?
Alhamdulillah.
Now, it is an honor to have you in our program, Dato Seri. Now, maybe we can start with, how do you define a good boss from your own standpoint, sir?
First and foremost, I would like to say thank you very much for the invitation.
Thank you.
For today's ECM talk. I'm indeed humbled by the invitation. For me, if you ask me what is the definition of a true leader or boss, I think the boss is a question of semantics. The boss is a leader, and the leader is the boss. It's about the characteristic of the boss that makes a leader.
Right.
So it is very important that you need to differentiate between the boss and leader. They're all the same.
Right.
It's about the informal connotation for leader as a boss and the formal connotation of a boss as a leader.
Right.
What makes a good leader? A good leader is a person who is able to engage with his staff and be able to provide guidance and use his wisdom to manage the resources that he has got.
Right.
And if you want to be a true leader, it has to be earned. It cannot be commanded or asked for.
Right.
In order for you to be a true leader, you need to have that possession of the spirit of love. I always believe that leadership must come from the heart.
From the heart. Yeah.
It has to be sincere. It has to be authentic.
Right.
You cannot plagiarize leadership.
Yeah.
Leadership is the ability for you to engage with your people. For at the end of the day, you cannot be a leader if you don't have followers.
Correct.
So you must have followers to be a true leader. And for you to create followers, you must be a role model.
Right. Right. Now, Dato, when you said this, and I think what my second question to you, be a leader, not a boss. How would you share this, your thoughts on this statement, sir?
A leader is always a boss, and the boss is always a leader. It's a question of semantics, as I said just now.
As you have said, yes, yeah.
It's a question of semantics. But the application of a true leader is generally the ability for you now to manage your resources to the best of your ability so that you are able to provide the guidance and you are able to create the leaders from the followers. A true leader is a leader that is able to create more leaders within the specified organization or within a specific group.
Yeah.
If you're not able to command that ability to create leaders, then you're not a leader.
Right. But there are leaders who think they are a boss and a boss who think they are a leader, Dato Seri.
When you talk about boss, sometimes it denotes the connotation of an autocratic leader. When you talk about leader, you talk about a leader which is both informal and formal leaders. In many organizations or in any environment, there will always be informal leaders and will be formal leaders.
Yes.
Formal leaders in the capacity that you are given that position.
Right.
The informal leaders are the true leaders. The informal leaders can always be a formal and informal.
Right.
For example,
Yes.
even the imam in the masjid or the priest at the church
Right.
is an informal leader.
Right.
His ability to be able to provide guidance, to provide knowledge, to share experiences, and for people to emulate him as a role model is the true test of leadership.
Right. Right.
So let you say leading by example.
Right.
So you need to be able to provide the right leadership so that people will follow you as a good example of living through life. So a true leader again is the ability to be a servant to the followers.
In other words, you can't force yourself.
You can't.
You can't force
You
yourself
can't
to
force.
be
You
in
have
that
to be.
position.
I always believe in the term the servant leadership.
Yes, I was coming to that.
Servant leadership is that you are seen to provide guidance and to serve your people.
Right.
And that is why you are elected as a leader by your followers.
Right.
And you are a leader because of your followers. So therefore you need to serve the followers.
Correct.
So servant leadership is about the ability to be humble,
Correct.
to have the highest level of integrity, and to be able to have that social and emotional intelligence that you can connect with your followers. So when you're able to provide that social and emotional intelligence, it's what I call intelligence of a different degree, of a higher level.
Different level, yeah.
This is what we call the emotional intelligence. That you'll be able to engage, then people will respect you,
Right.
and people will emulate you, and whatever you say will be followed.
Right.
Not because you are very forceful in your leadership, but because they see that following the role model that you are exemplifying, it will add value not only to the environment, but also to themselves.
Right. Now, what you have just shared with us, Dato Seri, I presume all this is not something that you read from textbook, Dato Seri. And do you think as far as in Malaysia's environment of being a leader, this is something that they would have cultivated?
I think it's very important for leadership to have this morality and values. These values is very important to become a true leader.
Yes.
Because if you set the right tone in terms of your values and you practice the right culture,
Right.
and understanding the different cultures of the world,
Yes.
and be able to manage these cultures in a different platform all the time, but having the parameter of the highest level of integrity and value, I'm sure you'll be able to exemplify the aura of leadership.
Right. What are the slips or false steps that are sometimes overlooked by most bosses when managing their team? And how do you think they can overcome this? Yeah.
I think most of the flaws of leadership is about not the ability to listen. As a leader, you must always listen and listen and listen.
Right.
There are times that you need to be forceful.
Right.
There are times that a decision needs to be made.
Right.
There are times that you need to also make a decision which could be unpopular.
Right.
But for you as a leader, your conscience must be clear.
Right.
That you have taken the views of your followers, you have taken the recommendation of your followers,
Right.
you have considered them appropriately, you have given them the opportunity to air their challenges, you weigh them properly, and come up with a decision. Sometimes a decision could be popular, could be a majority, sometimes it could be a decision that you make which does not support the majority.
Right. Right.
But the real essence and the core behind that decision must be about the serving of the community.
Right.
It might not be good for a certain group of people on your decision,
Yes.
but the outcome, the impact
Yes.
will be to the broad community.
Right.
So if that is the decision that you have to make to serve the broad community at the expense of the minority,
Right.
go ahead and make that decision.
Right.
Not every decision a leader makes will be good
Right.
maybe in 5 years' time. A decision the leader makes today could be good, could be appropriate, could be timely, but in 2-3 years down the road, that decision could be wrong.
Correct. Correct.
So a good leader is the ability for you to do a reflection
Yes.
and constantly learn, relearn and unlearn.
Yes.
So if you're able to engage these 3 processes of the R, learning, unlearning and relearning.
Right.
So if you're able to do that and comprehend them and tell them that you are as a leader, you are only a human. You make mistakes.
True.
And the ability of a leader to accept the mistakes that he makes is the true test of the self-actualization of leadership.
But that has always been a challenge of the so-called leader.
The challenge is because of the ego.
Yes.
You need to massage, you need to tell the ego
Yes.
that is within you
Yes.
that you're a normal human being bound
Correct.
for mistake.
Correct.
And the act of humility, if you are able to display it well to your followers,
Yes. Yes.
not to show your weakness,
Right.
the act of humility,
Right. Yeah.
people will appreciate. And when the followers appreciate that you are a normal human being that make mistake, they will accept you because they know at the end of the day you are a person of humility. You are able to reflect on your decision, and if the decision is not good to the community, you need to reverse the decision. But it cannot be a flip-flop decision.
Right.
A flip-flop decision is made within 2-3 months. You keep on changing your mind, then people will lose direction.
Yes.
Remember, in a ship, you are the only captain.
Yeah.
As a captain of the ship, you need to stir the ship.
Yeah.
You will go through all the challenges of the waves and all the challenges of the typhoons while going through that journey.
Right.
That journey will not be as wonderful as what we think we want it to be.
Yes.
But for as long as we are practical, when we go through the challenges, we go together as a team. A leader is about building a team. If you're able to get a team to support you as reliable followers, you will have loyalty all along.
No plans yet after SPM? We have free foundation program for you.
Yes. In other words, you just can't be a leader and working in silo. That's
Cannot,
yeah.
because you need, in order for you to get to be even considered as a leader,
Yeah.
you need to have followers.
Followers,
If you
yes.
don't have followers, you are not a leader.
Correct. Correct.
So
Correct. Yeah.
those are very important elements. So
Yes.
for you to survive in that position,
Yes.
you need to sustain that followership.
Yeah.
You cannot build an organization with 20,000 people which is divided.
Right.
There will be pockets of dissatisfaction. That is the normal human being.
Yes.
Normal, which will have pockets of dissatisfaction.
Yeah.
But treat these pockets of dissatisfaction as the pockets for you to really do a reflection. Because these are alarm bells that will ring when they are not supportive of the leadership.
Right. Right.
And we want this type of people in in any organization.
Yes.
They cannot be all the time followers. There will be some people who are rebels from time to time. One day rebel, one day follower.
Yeah.
They will move on and they keep on changing their position.
Right.
But that is human nature.
Human nature. Yeah.
But the ability for you now to engage the followers and the non-followers and to be able to gain the support of the non-followers to become followers at the end of the day
Right.
is again a true test of leadership. The ability to engage.
Yeah.
Constantly engage. Listen.
Right. Right. A good boss empowers his or her employees and vice versa. The employees also play crucial roles in adding value to the boss' action. Do you agree with this?
I think it's very important that we need always to get feedback from the followers. You know, from time to time, for any decision to be made as a leader, you need a good team to advise you.
Right.
Usually as a leader, when you chair any meetings, the leader rarely speaks. He will open the floor
Right.
for discussion.
Right.
He welcomes discussion.
Correct.
And it has to be done from the heart again.
Right.
It has to be sincere.
Right.
Meaning to say that the followers will tell you, if it's a spade, they will call it a spade.
Yes.
They are not going to sugarcoat it
Yeah.
and say something else.
Right.
And if you have people who are always sugarcoating you, and this is going to be the downfall of a leader, because you get the wrong information from the ground.
Right. Right.
From the ground means the followers are sincere in their appreciation, sincere in supporting you in that leadership role, sincere in making sure that you make the right decision for them, for the community. So if you have got sincerity among the followers, then it will be good for the leader to make a decision, because whatever decision you make, it involves them.
Correct.
And you need to compliment the followers on the success of a leader. Most leaders, sometimes they fail to realize that they are not complimenting enough for the people that support them to be where they are as leaders.
Right. Right.
I think it's the act of humility. It is about the wisdom that you need to always use, in the sense that if you are a successful leader, the reflection is you are there is because of the successful followers. Because you're able to build a culture of teamwork, a culture that works together as a team, that have their challenges. Yes, we have our differences, but we manage the differences in the most professional manner.
But I don't know this, Dato Seri. More often than not, the followers always believe in just keeping quiet and listen to the leader to speak. They feel that this is a sign of a follower, a genuine follower to the leader. But just by keeping quiet.
You must change that culture.
You see, this is how,
you need to change the culture.
Yes.
You can do it very easily.
Yes.
It's about maybe engaging with them more frequently.
Maybe takut, Dato Seri.
More informal. You can have your talks at the coffee shop. You can go to the mama and have some roti canai. Build the confidence that I am not so-called a tyrant.
Right.
We are here to work together as a team.
Yes.
I am also given the blessing by God. Today I'm a leader, but tomorrow I will be a follower.
Correct.
A leader is a person that will be able to accept the changes of his situation at all times.
Right.
If I go for Friday prayer, even if I am the top leader in any organization, when I go for Friday prayer, I am not the leader anymore. The leader is the imam.
Right.
So I have to follow what he does and listen.
Right.
And listen to his sermon.
Yes.
Similarly, like you go to church, you've got a priest, he's the leader. So you could be a CEO of a most multinational company, billion-dollar company.
Yes,
you are a leader in that capacity.
Yes.
But in a different environment, you're not a leader.
True.
The leader is the priest, who might not have the same level of education that you have.
Correct.
Who might not have the certain level of experience that you have. But he is a leader in that capacity. So you got to respect. So for as long as you are able to respect leaders in all circumstances, then I think you will eventually emerge as a good formal and informal leader.
So you have to change that
Constantly
mindset
change
and constantly
the mindset of humility. There'll be a certain level where you know that you have your own weaknesses.
Right.
And the leader is a person that has got the ability to really visualize and think for himself what is his strength and his weaknesses. He will now capitalize on his strength to make sure that he overwhelms the followers.
Correct.
He will also need to manage his weaknesses.
Correct.
So that he can learn from his followers to strengthen his weakness.
Exactly.
So if you are able to now strengthen your weaknesses to make it a strength moving forward, and continue to manage your strength to make it super strength, then at the end of the day, you are a man of wisdom. You'll be able to understand the different circumstances and adjust your leadership position.
Correct.
Depending on the circumstances.
So you just need to stop this barrier.
The barrier, that evolution. The evolution of leadership is all about change.
Correct.
And if a leader cannot accept change management as part of his leadership role, then it's going to be very difficult.
That will be a problem, does it say? So that they will not have that communication. They create that communication gap. Yes.
It's very important.
Very important. Right. Thank you, Dato Seri.
Thank you very much.
Learning to be a leader is an ongoing adventure. Unlike an ordinary boss, a leader is capable to be compassionate, inclusive, generous, and hardworking for the good of the team. Instead of being a stereotypical scary or micromanaging obsessed boss, a quality leader is able to establish an atmosphere of respect and collaboration. A leader is someone who works to improve things instead of focusing on the negatives. People acknowledge the authority of a boss, but people cherish a true leader. Once again, thank you, sir, for sharing your thoughts and views on this topic.
Thank you.
ECMians, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Edu Channel Malaysia. ECM Talk will be with its new look and feel in our next program, so please don't forget to tune in. Learning curve is an adventure. It's a new, never-ending journey. Until then, take care and stay healthy, everyone. Jumpa lagi.